I struggle with choosing shoes. What shoes to wear with what? It's a hard one for me. I just want warm, comfy feet. So when we're thinking about shoe choices, there are a few things you can consider. So one of them is the level of refinement. This is one of our principles of coordination. And really the principles of coordination are such a great tool to learn to help you put any outfit together. So one of them would be level of refinement. So the level of refinement, so how dressy is what you're wearing? How dressy are your shoes? Is it an equal level of refinement? Is it more refined? Is it more somewhere in the middle, or is it very casual? So when you think about a sports sneaker, that's a very casual shoe. It is made for outdoor leisure activities. So it works with very casual clothes, but it does not work with something that's a bit more refined if you want that outfit to look more refined. Now, some of the dress sneakers, they aren't as chunky. They haven't got the big, rubbery soles that stick out the side of the shoe. They're, maybe made from leather instead. Maybe they've got little, cut out on them. They're more refined. So they work better with your more casual clothes. They're still not going to be really, really dressy, but they are comfortable. So think about that level of refinement. Has it got a heel? Is it a flat? How dressy is it? What's it made from? And how does it look with the rest of the outfit? So think about that level of refinement. That's one of our things we can think about. Now, number two, when we are thinking about what shoes do I wear? So we want to think about our body proportions. Do we have longer legs or shorter legs, and what are we pairing it with? So with a pair of trousers, it doesn't really matter so much what sort of shoes you choose as far as the vamp goes. So the vamp is how high the shoe goes up on your foot. So a ballet flat, for example, is a low vamp shoe. Your typical pump is a low vamp shoe because the leg appears to start from the top of the toes. So we see more skin that goes up into the leg. There's an unbroken line. The minute we put a strap on it, like on a Mary Jane, or have a lace up like a Brogue or an Oxford, we are having a higher vamp shoe. So this cuts the length, the visual length of the legs down. And so therefore it works better with pants, but not as well with skirts and dresses, unless we happen to have long legs. Now, also, too, you want to think about how short is the garment we're wearing with it. So with a pair of trousers, doesn't matter if you wear a low vamp shoe or a high vamp shoe, because the trousers already come down to your ankles or long, and so we're not visually breaking up that area so much. But if you're wearing a skirt or a dress or a pair of shorts, then it starts to matter, and it can depend on the length of that garment. So the shorter your garment is, the more you can, afford to cut off some of your foot or the visual appearance of your legs being longer with a higher vamp shoe, because we've already got a lot of legs showing. And this is why when you see a lot of models in ankle boots and things like that, but they're wearing a mini skirt or a really short pair of shorts. So they've got a lot of legs, plus they're people who are genetically got long legs already. Now, if you happen to have shorter legs, you don't want to be cutting down that length of your legs by wearing a high vamp shoe with a knee length or longer skirt or dress, because what that's doing is making your legs look even shorter. It's chopping you up multiple times. So if you really need to wear a high vamp shoe, make it a nude shoe, because if it's nude and it blends with your skin color, we are not going to notice that vamp so much. And that shoe is not going to be grabbing attention compared to if it's a color that stands out from your skin. If you have longer legs, you can afford to do a higher vamp shoe, but if you have shorter legs, you want a low vamp shoe. So that is another consideration when choosing shoes. And then finally, think about scale. So scale, we think about if I'm wearing something is larger in scale, so a wider leg pant or a flare, I can wear a chunkier shoe because there's more volume that fits with more volume. But if I'm wearing something that is finer or more refined, I may want to have a smaller scale item. Plus also we want to relate scale to the size of our ankles and feet. There's some other considerations there in our whole body scale. But when we're thinking about, this is why a sneaker works better with, maybe a pair of cords rather than it does with a pencil skirt. That the scale of those two is unbalanced. And I always think back, if you were old enough like I am to remember to when the Spice Girls were, big in the 90s, that they all wore, like apart from Posh Spice, the rest of them wore very big chunky shoes, and they were fine people and they look weighed down by their big chunky shoes. So it's thinking that's the element of scale and balancing that scale to your overall body plus to your feet and lower legs. So they are some other things to consider, but also too is what is the garment. So if you're wearing a wider skirt or, you know, a wider legged pant, you can get away with a chunkier shoe. If you're wearing a narrower one, then go with something narrower. So I always go, if you want to be warm and comfy, some great shoes to have in your wardrobe are things like knee-high boots to wear with your skirts and dresses, because a knee-high boot, even though its vamp goes all the way up to your knee, is actually a low vamp shoe. It acts like a low vamp shoe because what it does is it elongates the entire line from the toe of your foot right up to your knee. So we have got one unbroken line there rather than it stopping somewhere near your ankle. So avoid ankle boots with skirts and dresses. Instead, go for knee-high boots. With pants, go for ankle boots, go for your sneakers, for those comfy shoes. And if you want a flat comfy shoe, start searching for a that goes with skirts and dresses. Maybe go for a ballerina flat style shoe. So they are some tips to help you find the right shoes to go with each outfit.